Hey everybody, good afternoon. Jim Whalen here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Just wanted to talk to you today about IRAs and gold investing. Yeah, let's just change this over to here. Might be a better spot. Got Smoking Hot Wife sitting beside me. She's responsible for all things hot. She's busy working. Want to say hi to everybody on YouTube, Smoking Hot Wife?
Hello.
Want to come over and say hi? But I'm gonna talk about another article about it's time to invest in gold. We got almost a World War III happening starting over in Ukraine. Putin's threatened to action against the West. You know, it's like, what are you gonna do? And you got gasoline up to like $6 a gallon now in some areas of West Palm Beach. Certainly, actually 5.33 I saw this morning, and diesel is over $6 a gallon. And I was talking with somebody over in Manila this morning at a customer service center, and gasoline is expensive over there too, sky high, she was telling me. So it's like not only happening here, but it's happening over in all around the world. And then you have food shortages coming. You got I've been reading about food riots and fuel rationing over in Colombo, which is in Sri Lanka, and Putin doing his food blockages over in the Black Sea, so food can't get out. So if you're interested in knowing how to convert your all cash IRA into gold, well, we have the options available for you on insidersecrets.com. Just a disclosure, the owners of this website may be paid to recommend Goldco and other companies. This content on this website and in this video includes any positive reviews of Goldco and others may not be neutral or independent. So that's my disclosure. And it's also in this video for the disclosure as well. So what I'll do today is talk about why it's time to invest in gold and a silver IRA. If you want to get on my email list, I certainly encourage that as well. You can get a free ebook on how to invest in gold, which is written by Frank Barbaretta on Insider Secrets of GoldInvesting.com. And the title of today's video is now the time to invest in gold and silver in a gold and silver IRA. World events greatly impact the U.S. economy. If you've been monitoring what's going on around the globe and wondering how terrible things could become, how that might affect you, it's time to think about asset protection. When the economy turns sour or international conflicts like the one involving Russia and Ukraine throw the markets for a loop, investors typically turn to precious metals as a safe haven. The economy and your financial investments. You're probably wondering how high inflation will go. Who knows? 2 years ago, gas was $1.89 a gallon. I was paying $1.61 for E85. Perhaps you're wondering if the money you've been saving and investing diligently for years will be worth anything when you need it. If you're concerned about the value of your investments, you've undoubtedly considered several options for safeguarding your hard-earned cash. Many investors are concerned about the value of their investment portfolios due to the failing economy, excessive inflation, and the possibility of stock market disaster. thousands of Americans have chosen precious metals as a means of asset protection. For millennia, gold and silver have secured wealth and aided individuals in their fight against rising inflation, economic turbulence, and financial crisis. Gold is popular among investors for a variety of reasons, and it has characteristics that make it an excellent alternative to standard securities like equities and bonds. Investing in gold and silver bullion has a number of advantages over investing in the stock market, such as inflation protection, inherent value, high liquidity, portfolio diversification, and ease of purchase. Because the precious metals IRA can be used to protect retirement assets, they have quickly become popular. Precious metals IRAs are similar to traditional IRAs, with the exception they hold gold and silver coins and bars. You can also roll over or transfer assets from other accounts you may have, such as an IRA, 401k, etc., into a precious metals IRA. When it comes to investable assets, gold is one of the most well-established and mature markets, and global demand for silver is on the rise, with a record forecast this year. While the short-term outlook may show slight weakness, this could be the ideal time for those who have been waiting. The fact that gold functions as a safe haven asset, moving the opposite direction of traditional markets, means that it's not only a good hedge against financial difficulties, but it's also an asset that's grown in value steadily and consistently for a long time. Total worldwide silver demand is expected to increase 8 to 10% this year, owing to record silver industrial manufacturing, such as electrical and electronic applications and green technologies, as well as heightening investment demand. And if these shiny precious metals achieve their long-term growth potential, this could be one of the final chances to acquire them while they're still reasonably priced. As a side note, I was reading in Forbes, and I said this in my last video, that in time they're talking about gold going up to $15,000 an ounce. So that's what somebody was saying. There are three main elements right now that should assist prices to rise in the long run. Surging investor demand is one of the key causes of today's soaring prices. Gold and silver are in higher demand today than they have been virtually any time in the last several decades, driving up prices. I remember when I was a boy, I remember when the Hunt brothers, I think I was like 10 years old at the time. I always looked into these things, read the paper back in the day. That's when the news was good. I come from Canada, and remember the Hunt brothers buying gold. I think it was like buying silver. It's like 1973, 1974. I could be wrong off a few years, but they like hoarded it and caused a really steep price increase. I think it went like from $8 to $32 an ounce, if I remember correctly. That's like 49 years ago. And there was a big to-do about it in the news at the time. And I remember when that whack job dude George Soros was made the Bank of England go bankrupt. I don't know what effect it had on gold or anything, but I just thought I'd mention that too, because these guys, they don't care about you or I. They just care about themselves and what they can do to how to make money. They don't care about you, how to protect yourself. Only you do. Only I care about how people can protect themselves. And that's why I'm spreading the message about investing in gold and silver. So Surging investor demand is one of the key causes of today's soaring prices. Gold and silver are in higher demand today than they have been virtually any other time in the last several decades, driving up prices. Gold is in limited supply. Gold is a limited supply resource with an uncertain supply. Because the supply is always reducing, the price will always rise in lockstep with demand. Industrial demand accounts for half of global silver demand. The other half is driven by jewelry and investment, which is comparable drivers as gold. Geopolitical and monetary concerns, inflation concerns, and increased gold and silver demand are all likely triggers for a breakthrough move this year. Many people are buying gold and silver are relatively new to precious metals. That's like you and I, but they recognize the advantages of owning them. Growing numbers of folks are taking action right now to secure their wealth as inflation rises and another period of recession may soon follow. In addition to rising demands for gold and silver, there has been supply concerns in the past that could affect the supply of investment grade bullion coins. The major challenge to supply now is the scarcity of gold and silver blanks. Coining prices strike blanks, which are dish-shaped planchets, due to a scarcity of silver blanks. The Mint has been restricting silver bullion and numismatic items. Due to the pandemic shortages, the U.S. Mint has been forced to halt production of some of the most popular bullion products. And if demand continues, this could become a bottleneck for investors. Each time there is a lot of gold and silver above ground, it's not all in coin and coinable form. If mints are unable to get the coin blanks in sufficient quantities to fulfill increased demand, the supply of gold and silver coins accessible to the market may become scarcer, driving another price rise. An interesting topic right now is what happens if the economic sanctions put on Russia's gold and silver output are successful. Russia produces roughly 10% of the world's gold and 5 to 10% of the world's silver. Shutting down supply of that magnitude at a time when demand is increasing is almost certain to cause supply issues, which would ultimately lead to higher prices. It's important to consider investing in physical gold and silver now while it's available. Look at what they're doing when they shut down the food production out of the Ukraine. They're blocking the food coming out of the Black Sea, and Putin says it's Ukraine, and Ukraine says it's Putin. No one can do anything. And then a lot of the crises are made up by the West, in my opinion. As a self-fulfilling prophecy because they don't want to import nothing from Russia. That's what's causing a lot of the food shortages. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or bad thing, but all those sanctions that they put on are affecting how the rest of the world lives their daily lives when ideally we really have nothing to do with that war in a sense. That's my opinion. And I'm not in favor of any side or anything like that. I'm just telling you that, that the Ukraine war is so far away from United States, and we're suffering for it because of food shortages and stuff like that, and inflation. There are two main factors that could influence the gold and silver prices in the near future. One is China, and the other is the economy, with both variables connected. There are concerns that as the Federal Reserve begins to raise interest rates and shrink its balance sheet, it could over-tighten its monetary policy. Well, maybe they should talk to Joe Biden about giving away that free money. Some fear that a tighter monetary policy could higher interest rates will have a detrimental influence on gold and silver prices as a tighter monetary policy and higher rates are linked to lower precious metals values in some mines. However, given the additional economic issues such as high inflation and an impending recession, the relationship between higher interest rates and the lower precious metal prices is likely to be broken. Although there is a chance, as we witnessed in the 2008 financial crisis, precious metals could lose value initially as people try to raise cash by selling assets. If this were to occur, it would likely be brief, as it was in 2008 when gold and silver quickly rebounded, more than tripling in price. Fears over what's happening in China caused some losses in gold and silver early this week. COVID restrictions in China could have a substantial influence on not just economic production, but also on consumer and industrial demand. China's consumer base is increasingly becoming a major driver of consumer goods demand, and it is no longer only a supplier of low-cost items. If China's lockdown spread this year, demand from Chinese customers could fall, resulting in lower demand for a variety of commodities. Gold and silver were thus part of a broader decrease in commodity prices as markets respond to the reality of what's happening on the ground in China. These investment metals could face further declines. Now could be the time to invest in gold and silver. If you've ever owned or invested in precious metals such as gold or silver, you've undoubtedly realized that it's a game of patience. Precious metals and investing frequently necessitates a long-term attitude that isn't always present in other types of stock investing, such as day trading. It's not a get-rich-quick scenario. Rather, it's for those who recognize the long-term stability that gold and silver can provide to an investment portfolio, and who seek that consistency in their investments. You could be thinking about all the economic issues we're facing: inflation, a devaluation of the dollar, the possibility for recession, and the gigantic debt bubble, to name a few. You're probably wondering when the entire house of cards will come crashing down. If and when that happens, obviously gold and silver could profit enormously, with their prices skyrocketing relatively quickly. However, patience might be difficult to maintain in the meantime. You're undoubtedly aware that these investment metals have the potential to appreciate greatly in value over the time, but the wait could be agonizing. In this article, we've covered issues such as commercial and investor demand, supply challenges, economic sanctions, recessions, and foreign influence, and the effects all of these could have on gold and silver prices for the long term and short term. The bottom line is, if you haven't already invested in gold and silver, the short term may be the best time to do it before prices begin to soar. With the failing economy, excessive inflation, and the possibility of a stock market disaster, there's never been a better time to protect your wealth and in your retirement against impending disaster with a gold IRA. And my disclosure, once again, all investments, precious metals such as gold and silver, involve risk. You may get less back than what you put in. Always consult a professional financial advisor before investing your money. Consumers should be aware that past performance does not guarantee future returns. The owners of this video may be compensated for recommending certain companies, products, and services. While we endeavor to make sure all our content is accurate, the information we provide may not be neutral or independent and does not constitute financial advice. So, I'll read you some other news articles. These articles are from what's on our website, uh, Insider Secrets of goldinvesting.com. And if you want to find out the current news, go to Insider Secrets of goldinvesting.com/current news. And then let's see, what's a good article here? Here's one that just came in today. Says, I'll read this to you. It says, Wisdom Tree's head of commodities and macroeconomic research. I can't even pronounce the name. One of these cool names from the other end of the world. Natesh Shah has analyzed the Fed's latest movements and the general macro picture and posted a downward revision for the yellow metal in his latest research note. He said the Federal Reserve maintaining a hawkish note, bond yields have risen, and the US dollar remains strong. As a result, we have edged down our gold forecast, but the risk of the central banks overdoing it could send gold prices soaring, especially if inflation remains high while economic growth is hurt. In a base case of inflation moderating without a recession, silver should largely keep up with gold. However, an inflation downturn could hurt silver disproportionately. Getting into specifics, the report noted that the firm's model indicates that by Q1 2023, gold prices will still rise, but not as much as previously expected, circa $2,300 an ounce, when the bond and US dollar headwinds were lower. On the positive note, Shaw noted, we have observed gold is holding up well relative to bond markets, breaking down the traditionally strong relationship between gold and Treasury inflation protected securities. Gold is an asset that generally performs well in adverse economic and financial conditions. With fears of a recession rising, investors are increasingly turning to gold as a hedge. When it comes to silver, Wisdom Tree said, using our revised base gold forecast, our silver model indicates that silver prices are likely to rise to $25.89 per ounce from $21.93 per ounce by Q1 2023. Mining capital expenditure has been rising in recent years, and that could drive silver out of the supply deficit in the coming year. We assume that manufacturing activity, proxied by manufacturing purchasing manager indices, will continue to moderate but won't fall below 50. That is, won't contract in outright terms. And that was from courtesy of Kitco News. I carry this on my website, Insider Secrets of goldinvesting.com, where I've laid out pretty simple, easy to do, convert your cash IRA or whatever is in there to gold. We got 5 companies for you to choose from. Just click on the gold company tab at the top of our page and fill out one of the forms that a qualified representative will contact you. And I'll just read you one more article here. It's put out today, June 10th. Gold consolidates before the U.S. inflation data. Let's see what this thing has to say. It's got one of these nice graphs on here, but I'll read it to you. And gold on the 4-hour chart below is stuck in a firm consolidation zone. There's a chart on this page. There's some important CPI data out later in the session, and the reading is expected to reach 5.9 versus the previous reading of 6.2. There have been some political notes out this week suggesting that the reading could be high, but we will have to see. Looking closer at the chart, the price has respected the Fibonacci retracement level. Wow. And now has moved lower of the 38% retracement zone. The main support now stands at $1,830 per ounce. Below the main low on the chart is the biggest support of $1,785 per ounce. Looking at the volume indicator, the price is now trading below the volume point of control of the solid red horizontal line. The general price pattern is pretty bearish right now as the low pattern is being printed. To turn more positive, the price would have to take out the previous wave high at $1,862.40 per ounce. Only then we look at the consolidation high of $1,879.60 to be tested. For now, the price is in a heavy consolidation pattern. Maybe the data later today could inspire some volatility for some of the movement out of the sideways action. And you can see this article on Insider Secrets of Gold Investing under the news section. So it's pretty interesting, just some of the stuff that's out there. You got everybody in the world wondering about what's going on. Now's the time to invest in gold. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say right now at this point. And I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks a lot.
What company are you with?
Oh, we got some comments here.
Okay, fine, please.
Hold on 1 second.
It's Jay from Christ Fellowship Church.
Oh, okay. I can end this live. Josh, can you tell him I'll call him back in about 5 minutes? Josh, sorry, I didn't see your comments there. I was reading some of the articles. If you go to some of the articles on Insider Secrets of Gold Investing.com, there's articles there about how you can comment about how you can find out about silver. So I apologize for not seeing your comments there earlier. So that's it for now. And again, if you want to talk to a representative about how to invest in gold, check out Insider Secrets of GoldInvesting.com, and you will click on the Gold Companies tab, and you'll have your choice of 5 top-rated companies that you can choose from. And we've made it real easy for you to buy gold and silver. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you later.